Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to do the play The Browning Version, which is written by Terence Rattigan. So let's understand the details about the playwright, that is Terence Rattigan. Terence Rattigan's full name was Sir Terence Mervyn Rattigan, and he was a British dramatist and screenwriter. His plays are typically set in an upper middle class background. He wrote The Winslow Boy, The Browning Version, The Deep Blue Sea, and Separate Tables, etc. He was born on 10th June 1911 in South Kensington, London, United Kingdom. He died on 30th November 1977 in Hamilton, Bermuda. He was educated in Trinity College, University of Oxford and Harrow School. He received Cannes Film Festival Award for Best Screenplay. Let's move towards the message of the story. Students, in this story, we get to understand that teachers are not as bad as they seem. Students must be thinking that teachers' harsh behavior, teachers' punishment, teachers' scolding in the class, reprimandation in the class, all these are very harsh on students, but all these are being done by the teachers to sharpen the future of the student. They are doing for student success, happiness, and prosperity, because the training that they are getting right now will make them disciplined, will make them morally upright and strong to face any challenges of upcoming life. Let's move towards the characters of the play now. At first we find Crocker-Harris. Crocker-Harris is a teacher who teaches classic literature. Classic literature, as it is very difficult to understand, and Crocker-Harris is very strict teacher who teaches each and everything very minutely. For him there is no holiday, for him there is no escapement from punishment. He is a man of principles who does his duty dedicatedly. There is extreme dedication in Crocker-Harris. He is a stern master. He does not want his children to avoid learning, because according to him it is knowledge which can sharpen the future of the student. He is fair assessor. He does the fair judgment, and he is not swayed by emotions. He is hardly human being, because there is no feeling of love, there is no feeling of hatred as well. Therefore his student calls him hardly human. We will understand what is the event, what is the situation which has led him to become so. Let's move to another character in the story, that is Tableau. Tableau is a student of Crocker-Harris, and initially he misjudges his teacher Crocker-Harris. Here Tableau is a respectful student, obedient, bold, sincere, and initially he misjudges his teacher Crocker-Harris, and frank as well. He likes the principle of Crocker-Harris. Principle of Crocker-Harris is to abide by the rules and regulations. Whenever result is to be declared, on the very day he is going to declare, not before, not late. The person who is to announce the result, that particular person will announce, and not the Crocker-Harris. Alright, so all these kind of rules and regulations which is followed by Crocker-Harris makes him respectful in front of Tableau. But because he misunderstands him, he criticizes Crocker-Harris for being feelingless, yet he is an extraordinary master for him. Crocker-Harris is feelingless because he does not like love from his student, nor he hates them. Okay, so this neutral nature confuses Tableau, but he considers Crocker-Harris as an extraordinary master. We will understand why they are called so in this story, both Crocker-Harris and Tableau. Let's move ahead. Another character is Frank Hunter. Okay, Frank Hunter is science teacher in the same school where Crocker-Harris teaches and Tableau studies. He is totally contrast to Crocker-Harris because he is not dedicated at all. There is no dedication towards his profession. As a teacher, he should be very much dedicated in motivating students, in teaching their subject, his subject, more efficiently. But he himself hates his subject. Okay, so a teacher who hates his own subject cannot learn more about it. Okay, so this is the demerit of Frank Hunter. Not only that, he instigates students to speak against colleagues. He's like Crocker-Harris. When Tableau waits for Crocker-Harris, he asks Tableau to imitate his classic teacher. Not only that, he criticizes him, okay, which is negative nature of a teacher. He enjoys criticism of others. Okay, when Tableau criticizes and does the mimicry of Crocker-Harris, he becomes happy. He is an immoral teacher because he has some association with his wife, with Crocker-Harris' wife Millie. He demotivates students. Here Tableau, okay, who is in 5th grade, he is extremely interested in taking science. But Frank Hunter, who is a science teacher, says that all the science students are slackers. Okay, they are lazy people. So this demotivates Tableau, and these are the character sketch of Frank Hunter. Next character is Millie. There is a small role of Millie in the story, in the play. Okay, she is wife of Crocker-Harris, and she is not at all moral because she does not totally devoted wife. She is insensitive lady. It is because Crocker-Harris was going through utter mental tension and she was not able to understand it. Not only that, she cheated on her husband. Okay, she has some association with Frank Hunter. Alright, this is clearly not mentioned in this story, but when we read another part of the story, okay, full part of the Browning version, then we get to understand that it was Millie who had affair with Frank Hunter, whereas Frank Hunter did not like Millie. He was not totally in love. It was just superficial. Okay, so these are the 4 characters in the story. Let's move ahead. Let's see the introduction. The Browning version is a play by Terence Rattigan. This was seen by many as his best work and first performed on 8th September 1948 at the Phoenix Theatre in London. It was originally one of the 2 short plays jointly titled Playbill. Okay, the first part we are going to read out, that is the Browning version, and second part is not given here. Okay, it is set in a British boys' public school. Keep in mind, okay, this is set in British boys' public school. The classics teacher in the play is Crocker-Harris. The first scene of the play is set in the school. In the opening, there is a 16-year-old boy, Tableau. Tableau is a student, okay, in this school, British boys' public school. He has come to do some extra work for his teacher, Mr. Crocker-Harris. One day, Tableau was absent and he had not completed his work. Crocker-Harris, on the last day of the session, okay, had called Tableau to complete his classic subject work, and he had come to do the same. Moreover, he has to wait for him as he still has not arrived. Crocker-Harris had not arrived because of some work, okay, and Tableau had to complete the work even in the absence of Crocker-Harris. This shows how much fearful Tableau was of his teacher. Frank, another teacher, finds Tableau waiting and strikes a conversation with him. While Tableau was waiting for Crocker-Harris, Frank starts the interaction with him. Now let me tell you out here that Crocker-Harris is not seen throughout the play. Okay, when Tableau and Frank discusses about the teacher Crocker-Harris, then we get to understand that it was Crocker-Harris who was dedicated teacher. Okay, but students misunderstood him. They wanted teacher who is very casual, who is not strict, who gives them marks randomly, who upgrades them to another higher class easily. Okay, whereas Crocker-Harris was not so. He understood the meaning of education and he implemented it strictly in his class. Andrew Crocker-Harris, his full name is Andrew Crocker-Harris, is a classics teacher and in an English boys' school. After 18 years of teaching there, today is his last day before moving on to a position at another school. See here, students, 18 years he worked in that particular school, but because of some of the students complained, he had to leave the school. Okay, so he had to join another school and he was completing his financial documentation in the accounts section in the very school. The students speculated on why he is leaving. Here, that very day, okay, when Crocker-Harris was absent, students started talking that why he was leaving. But they did not much care, since despite being academically brilliant, he is generally hated as being strict, stern and humorless. Here he was very strict because he wanted his work to be completed on time. He is stern, okay, he is very much cold-hearted, you can say, and humorless, okay, because of which students hated him without understanding the eventual final goal of the teaching of Crocker-Harris. Alright, they did not understand that Crocker-Harris teaching is going to shape the future of them. They have nicknamed him the Croc. Even the school administrators treat him poorly regardless of his long tenure. Here, even after working there for 18 years, he did not get any respect from the school. Just because of the complaint of few of the students, he was thrown out of the school. Alright, so this is something which is pathetic that we experience in the play. Okay, here we find Crocker-Harris was not a person who was fortunate to have good students, okay, and good governing authority. Millie Crocker-Harris, his wife, is younger and vivacious and quite different from her husband. She is insensitive, and because she was younger, okay, she did not love middle-aged Crocker-Harris. Okay, now she has affair with Frank Hunter. She no longer loves him, but rather loves Frank Hunter, another teacher. So from all the sides, okay, he was a loser. Therefore, even after, showing 18 years of his dedicated service, he was not rewarded. Rather, he was thrown out of the school. Now, in personal relationship also, he was not happy. Maybe this is one of the reasons why he was emotionless. Let's move towards the summary. During the conversation, Frank gets to know that Tableau is waiting for his result, which is yet to be handed out. Students, in the story, all the teachers had already given the result, okay, or remove. In the play you will find remove, okay, which means result. All right, so all the teachers had declared the students result before time, but it was Crocker-Harris who had not uttered his result, okay, that is tableau's result, because it had to be declared by headmaster, and according to Crocker-Harris, he will do it. Okay, the headmaster will do the declaration of the result. So he is not going to deviate from the rules and regulations. The boy is keen to specialize in science and hope to get a good result. Here, Tableau wants to take science because he is so much enthusiastic regarding this subject, and he hopes to get good marks, otherwise he will not get admission in science stream. Mr. Crocker-Harris does not declare the result himself. As I told you, he waited his headmaster to declare it on the last day of the term. And as I told you, it was last day of the Crocker-Harris. Even though it was last day, he was not, playing with the rules and regulations. He was waiting for the headmaster to declare the result of the students. Okay, so this shows that till final day he showed his dedication. He was not against the rules of the school. The conversation also delivers the insight of Tableau's mind. Through the conversation, we get to understand that what is the viewpoint of Tableau regarding Crocker-Harris and other teachers. He tells Frank how much he dislikes the play Agamemnon. Here, Tableau is interested in science and he hates literature, especially classic literature. Okay, Agamemnon is a tragedy. It is a play by Aeschylus. Okay, Aeschylus is Greek tragedian. Okay, and it talks about this story. Okay, this classic story talks about murder, and the theme is based on revenge. Okay, so he dislikes the play. Apart from this, he says that he confesses that the play is not that bad, but he likes science. Here, Agamemnon is not bad book, okay, but his interest lies in science. Therefore, he hates the subject, and Crocker-Harris as well. It is because he teaches terribly. Okay, he says that the way Mr. Crocker-Harris teaches it is terrible. Now here we need to understand, students, that Crocker-Harris is not a bad teacher. Why? It is because he does each and every work meticulously. Okay, he is a meritorious teacher because he does entire teaching on time. He abides by the rules and regulations. He asks his student to complete the punishment, but the punishment is productive. Okay, the punishment is not a waste for the students. For example, Tableau had to complete his work, okay, after coming to this school, and from there he is going to learn while writing, while completing the work. So that was the motive, and this is how productively he used to give punishment to the students. But as he was not interested in a sick subject, he hated that lesson, okay, and the teacher as well. Here I wish to give you all example that Albert Einstein, he was not interested in arts subject like history, okay, which talks about fights, battles, and it's all about remembering dates. Whereas he liked geology, he liked mathematics. Okay, so according to his liking, he learned much more than the teacher taught in the classroom. Okay, so this shows that Tableau had no interest in science. Okay, therefore he hated the subject. It was not that the subject was bad or the teacher was bad. Okay, keep this thing in mind. If he was bad, then he should be bad for other reasons as well. Okay, he should not have taught, he should not have come on time, he should not have given the productive punishment to the students, he should have given liberty to the students, whatever they wished they could have done. Okay, he could have given maximum marks to the students to get the favor from the students, which other teacher did. Okay, other teacher used to beat the students in order to get respect from them. Okay, which Crocker-Harris never did. He continued walking in a path of a strict teacher and strict discipline, and rest of the things did not bother him. They have to do extra work as he missed a class a week ago. Certainly, Frank remarks that Tableau will get his remove for being for doing extra work. However, Tableau feels different as he is not like other teachers. Okay, other teachers, so that rules don't work with Mr. Crocker-Harris, Tableau states. Here, Tableau was there on that very day to complete his work because he was absent for one day in this session. Okay, and Frank says that for being obedient, he is going to get the remove. He is going to get the result which will promote him to another class. But Tableau says this is not the case with Crocker-Harris, because other teacher might be happy because of the dedication of the student. But according to Crocker-Harris, this was the obligation of a student to complete the work, therefore no extra benefit will be given. Whatever marks they should get in the examination, okay, the same Crocker-Harris is going to provide to the student. Therefore, Tableau is not hopeful in getting remove because he had come on the last day. He further says he does not appreciate the extra work of the student. Crocker-Harris does not appreciate because according to him, as I told you, this is their obligation. It is their duty to complete the task, okay, which is given by the teacher. So no extra favoritism to the student who are coming on the last day. As per Tableau, Mr. Harris is different from other teachers. He is strict and inhuman. Moreover, he does not tell them their results before Judgment Day. Here, Tableau again repeats that Crocker-Harris is very strict and inhuman. He is regarded as inhuman because some of the students shows love towards him, but Crocker-Harris does not like at all. Okay, and most of the students hates him. That also does not make any difference in the teaching method of Crocker-Harris. Crocker-Harris was a person who neither liked to be loved and nor being hated. When Tableau asks about his remove, Crocker-Harris says that he has got exactly what he deserves, no less and certainly no more. Here, Tableau understood that what is the nature of Crocker-Harris. Therefore, he explains it to Frank that Crocker-Harris is not going to give me more marks or less marks because one day he had interacted with his teacher. And then he said that he is not going to give less marks and he is not going to give more. And this is the true character of an ideal teacher, because if the student will get less marks, they will get demotivated because they will also know that how much work, how much learning they did. And if more marks will be given to the students, then from the next examination they are not going to study because they will understand that extra marks will be given by the teacher. So in this case, whatever they deserve, if the marks is reflected in the result, then there won't be any injustice to the student and to the teacher as well. Here, Frank pointed out that Crocker-Harris is 10 minutes late. Here, Frank, who is science teacher, is not dedicated at all. He says that he hates his subject. When Tableau says that he is interested in science subject, he says he himself hates his subject and all the science students are lazy people. All these are slackers. That means he himself is being included here. He is also a science teacher, and if the person who loves this subject is lazy, then he himself is also lazy. Here, student, this is another fault of Frank. Being a colleague, he should have hid or concealed the drawback of another teacher. This teacher, being member of that particular school, knew that for what purpose Crocker-Harris was late. Alright, but in order to become famous in front of Tableau, he pointed out the mistake of Crocker-Harris. He wanted to regard Crocker-Harris as indisciplined teacher, but Tableau was not so. Here, Tableau was able to understand that Crocker-Harris is not like that. He is never late. He is never late and he does his work dedicatedly. So, he is going to follow the instruction of Crocker-Harris of completing his assignment even though the day is pleasant. Alright, why Crocker-Harris was late 10 minutes, I will tell you in a while. Tableau has a chance to leave and play golf, but Tableau looks shocked at this suggestion as he thinks that Mr. Crocker-Harris might follow him home. Here, Frank wants to, I told you, be famous in front of student. He wants to be very friendly, by giving suitable tasks, suitable suggestions to his students. He tells Tableau to go out and play because the day was very bright and beautiful. But Tableau, even though he wanted to go out, he could not because of the strict nature of Crocker-Harris. So it shows that even in the absence of Crocker-Harris, Tableau is not going to deviate from the set of rules that he has made. The discipline that is instilled by Crocker-Harris to Tableau, it is not going to be hampered by the instigation of Frank. And he says that if he will do that, then Crocker-Harris might follow him home. This is, hyperbole. The matter is being exaggerated. This is to show that how much strict was the teacher, Crocker-Harris. Frank envy Mr. Harris for the influence he has on his student. Here, Frank instigated Tableau to go out and play, but Tableau did not go because of the influence of Crocker-Harris. This irritated Frank and he became jealous. He was envious of Crocker-Harris because students are loving Mr. Crocker-Harris for his dedication, his work, and other positive nature of this very teacher. Frank was, wondering what happens in the class of Crocker-Harris because of which all the students are bound to follow the teacher. He asks especially Tableau whether Crocker-Harris beats them. But Tableau replies he is not a sadist and he is not a person who would beat students and vent his frustration. Here, Tableau says that Crocker-Harris is not a sadist. A sadist is a person who will enjoy by giving punishment to others. He is not like that. And he also says that some of the other teachers are so. Their personal problem, their personal grudges are being poured upon students. Okay, if somebody is angry, then entire frustration they are going to shower upon their students. But Crocker-Harris is not like that. In spite of all this, he likes Mr. Harris. It is Tableau who said that Crocker-Harris is very strict. He gives lots of homework. Okay, he asks the task to be completed within time. Not only that, he is so much strict that he might follow their homes. This shows heights of dedication of Mr. Crocker-Harris. And he was duty bound, which attracts students towards them, genuine students towards genuine teacher. Remember this, students, there are some of the teachers who give extra marks to the students, who crack jokes in order to get their favor. They become like friends of the student so that they can talk high about the teacher. But this was not the case with Crocker-Harris. Okay. He narrates an incident when he laughs at the classical joke that Mr. Harris cracked, although he did not get it. Here, Tableau had laughed on one of the jokes of Crocker-Harris, but without understanding it. When Crocker-Harris asked Tableau to explain the joke, he was not able to do so. Okay, so this shows liking of Tableau towards Harris. How? I will tell you. None of the students laughed at this joke because none of the students could understand. It is because the language of the joke was classic. Okay, it was in Greek. And as it is, the students were poor in classical language, so how can they understand, isn't it? So in order to save his teacher, okay, because in the core of his heart there was respect and there was love towards the teacher. So in order to save the teacher from embarrassment, Tableau had done so. He laughed at his joke which he did not understand. After that, Millie Crocker-Harris, Mr. Crocker-Harris' wife, enters the room. There is arrival of another character, that is wife of Crocker-Harris. She suggests Tableau run away for a quarter of an hour and come back, as Mr. Harris has been at bursars and may take quite a time. Here, bursar is accountant in the school. Okay, he had to clear his provident fund money, etc. It is because that was his last day and it had to be done on the very last day. Alright, so he was busy out there and this was the reason why he was 10 minutes late. Okay, he was 10 minutes late. It was not for completing his personal task that Crocker-Harris had not come to Tableau's place. Okay, it was because of the documentation and other stuff by which he was not able to attend Tableau. Mrs. Harris' behavior puzzles Tableau. Here, when Frank said him to go out, he did not go. Now Millie Crocker-Harris says that Tableau should go out and get some medicine for her. Tableau was so much surprised what to do, because if Crocker-Harris will come and he will not find Tableau, then he is going to be more angry on him. Therefore, Tableau was puzzled. Tableau is not willing to leave as he does not want to disobey the teacher whom he fears. So because of this reason, okay, because he was fearful towards his teacher, he didn't want to go, but Millie insists. When Millie assures Tableau that she will take the blame and proposes an excuse for his absence, Millie hands Tableau a prescription and asks him to take it to a chemist and get it for Harris. So Tableau accepts the proposal and leaves Frank and Mrs. Harris behind. Here, Tableau agrees. First reason is that because Millie said that she will take the blame, and another reason was that it was for Crocker-Harris. So his latent respect and love for teacher was alive, and he went out to get the medicine. Here we get to understand, students, that without training, the person will not be trained for upgradation. The same thing goes with the students as well. Unless and until teacher is strict, they are not going to learn. They are not going to follow the rules and regulations, and this will gradually destroy their discipline, their moral values, and their uprightness. So therefore, teacher needs to be strict if they want their students to be successful in later life. There are so many schools who are doing things which has lessened the burden of the students, but this will not empower them from inside. This is not going to give them confidence from inside. Unless and until they themselves do the task, they are not going to learn. So whatever Crocker-Harris did, that was for the betterment of the students, but unfortunately they did not understand his strictness, his purpose of being strict. This was disastrous, and finally Crocker-Harris, a meticulous teacher, had to leave the school, and this was the loss of the institution and not of the teacher, because it is said in the play that he had to join another school. This means after leaving one, another institution was ready to take that particular teacher as their member. So this shows that Crocker-Harris had caliber, but there were people who could not understand him. So students, by this we end the play. We will meet in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.